Oh, that's awesome.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the TI4 China Qualifiers presented by Monster. My name is Sunsfan. Joining me, Cinder and Fear is the guy that just did the amazing intro. Just doesn't even have to speak. Best intro ever. Let's just get into the game. For God's sake, Conrad, get us in the game
just
immediately.
Fire him again. How many times do we need to fire Conrad before he figures it out?
It's so good, though.
Unbelievable.
It wouldn't be enjoyable without him.
Yeah, like you said, we're pretty far into the draft. Switch to the draft, Conrad.
Still waiting, Conrad. Thank you.
Here we go.
Oh.
That's here again.
It just broke. We're back to me? How's this even happening?
Oh, God. I don't even want to cast anymore. Let's just talk about that for like 40 minutes, please. Anywho, the band's coming out for CIS and LGD. Gonna start with the Dazzle Bat Rider Clockwork with the Lycan Ancient Apparition
It's the best shit
Slark.
ever. Okay. Alright, I'm good.
Okay, the first two picks for LGD are going to be Invoker Treant Protector along with CIS taking Marana and Doom, who's been banned a decent amount in this qualifiers and the SCA.
He's been taking a lot of priority in China. And yeah, it's a bigger Asian pick than Western pick, I guess that's fair to say. Treant has been... How much has he been picked in the Chinese qualifier compared to the other ones? Because he was like a first pick in every game in the two other qualifiers. So
I think he still
gets picked.
I wouldn't say he's first pick every time, but he's still picked like almost every time at some point, at least banned. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people hate this hero. A lot of people love it. Well, nobody likes to watch it, so I guess that's something we all have in common. But I think I think Rubik's a really good pick against the Treant Protector. We saw that in... who was that kept stealing Overgrowth over and over?
That was SEA.
Was that in the SCA qualifiers? Well, either way, it's so easy to steal that.
It was Ryzen by from MVP.
No, that's right, Ryzen. So good. But, I mean, we'll see if that ends up being the case. Pugna is going to be the ban for LGD. They don't want push. And maybe they even want a Sand King. That's the... honestly, whenever I see a Pugna ban, I think Sand King right away. Because that is like... I feel... like the hardest counter.
It's true. Netherward makes it kind of hard to do the Blink Epicenter in...
It makes it impossible.
When you have a preparation. Oh, you can get a BKB.
How dare you.
I think it's interesting to point out that the two top picks, or the top pick for each team, Dazzle and AA, both got banned in the first phase, even though they're not first phase bans these days. AA used to be banned a lot about a month ago, isn't banned that frequently anymore, and Dazzle... the same thing, actually. He got nerfed a little bit, and teams started playing better against it, but in this game they're going to be removed out. And with Marana grabbed here for LGD, it's... oh, wait, actually, I'm getting a little bit confused here. It's LGD... Alright, this is really weird. Do we have the teams upside down?
I think we do.
We have the teams upside down. Conrad.
Boy, Conrad's just
okay,
like...
so the overlay you guys are seeing right now shows that CIS are on top and LGD are on bottom. It's the other way around. CIS is Radiant and are on the bottom.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. This is... I'm being thrown off by all this production stuff. Like, our production value so far is negative.
We're
Thanks,
casting.
Conrad.
The Dota cinema production quality is just seeping into the BTS house.
Yeah,
like a
dragging
disgusting infection, a fungus growing left and right. I would expect the Shadow Demon at some point this game. We're just going to fuck the production, just go straight into the game. Which is perfectly fine with me.
That's good.
Lich's going to be the final ban in the second phase, and Sand King is the pick for LGD, which we've talked about this time and time again, is a very... Well, who was it? Was it the America qualifiers that he was like almost completely ignored?
He wasn't ignored, but he got picked less than I would have thought he would. Especially since there started to be a trend in the Western scene with Sand King getting picked or banned in the first phase, but he didn't really get that much play in. As far as CIS games ban Pugna goes, I think it's just because they're against LGD. I do not think it was because of the Sand King, even though CIS like playing Sand King themselves. Like Fear pointed out, Demons is a great Sand King player. His Dazzle was banned, so maybe they would have liked to get that. Woo! Easy fix. Well done, guys.
Hexagons.
They're going to get the Naga instead, so we'll be probably playing for the late game. I'm assuming this is a core Naga. Could still be a support, but that doesn't really happen so much these days.
Yeah.
But LGD has okay heroes against Naga. I think Sand King is one of the best heroes against Naga. Kills the illusions easily, sets up for a single target stun on the main one, and then you can doom it. So this isn't too bad for LGD, but as we said in the pregame show, LGD had a really rough game against the second LGD team. It was like an hour-long game that LGD barely won.
What were the...
And that was because of a Naga.
What were the core heroes? So Naga was on...
Naga was on the LGD second team. So
Okay.
it's C-Dick team.
Is that what we're calling them? The second LGD team? The B team?
I'm assuming those kind of what they are, right?
Yeah.
So it's fair enough. What do you think of the Lich ban? That's kind of unusual.
Well, honestly, the first thing I think of with the Lich ban is the ice armor upon towers. So maybe
Together
they don't
with
want
Treant.
to. They don't want to push. Yeah, I guess that's true. Together with Treant would be pretty sick. They're gonna take Morphling. So this is looking like perhaps another roaming Mirana. It could be an offlane. I honestly prefer roaming Mirana. It just seems so good. Obviously, it's very dependent on you actually hitting your arrows, and they don't have the greatest setup. They have a burrow strike, which again, early levels is gonna be difficult to set up since you have to be such close range. But they still have another support to go, I would assume, and Shadow Demon still would be a good pick overall, which would be a great pick against Morphling. And with Morphling on the team, actually. So either way, I feel Shadow Demon is really good pick for either team.
And there could be a couple of reasons to get the Morphling here. Of course, Naga Siren, if it's played as a core, will 99% games will get a Radiance, so you can replicate that and steal that. That's kind of useful. In addition to that, CIS don't really have any counters to Morphling. I'm mainly looking at single target silences or stuns to lock him down.
There you go.
They're going to solve that by getting Shadow Shaman. Of course, Invoker does have Cold Snap, which is decent against Morphling with the right follow-up. But maybe EMP here for CIS. I would love to see them playing this as a Quas-Wex Invoker.
Yeah,
generally, the simple version is if you want a lot of control, you go Quas-Wex. If you want a lot of damage and pushing power, you go Quasik Sword. But CIS don't necessarily need Invoker to deal a lot of damage. They need to stall the game so Naga can farm. They have Shadow Shaman, who's a good defensive support with Mass Serpent Wards. They've got Treant's Living Armor. And Invoker, if he goes Quas-Wex, maybe they can just stall the game and get Naga some really good farm. Although, and then the second benefit of that is that EMP is great against Morphling, such a mana-dependent carry.
Yeah, I would expect them to do the same, but even if they go Quasik Sword, they still have pretty good setup for that stun strike either way. With
That's true.
Although how often do Nagas just skip ensnare completely these days? I feel like they just wait till like the last minute to pick that up.
When they're played mid, yeah.
But even one level of it is obviously good enough for a stun strike.
Yep.
In addition to Shackle from Shadow Shaman. But this game, Shadow Shaman, the Blink Dagger is going to be the most important pickup in this game, along with obviously Naga's farm in general. But I think the Blink Hex is one of the most powerful initiations, especially against somebody like Morphling. Puck is going to be picked for LGD as the bands are rounding out with the Dragon Knight and Tidehunter, trying to take away that off lane here that I guess CIS wants to go for here. I'm assuming this is going to be the trial with Naga, Treant, Shadow, unless they want to do a dual mid, which we've seen. Could be a solo mid Naga. I mean, do you even do solo mid Naga anymore now that she's been nerfed a bit?
That's still the most popular role, I think, but not as much as it was before. But sometimes it's safe lane, sometimes it's mid. It's almost never aggressive trialing anymore. It's almost, I would say support is way less frequent than it used to be. But overall, for CIS, with the last pick Centaur, I think with Inflame on Invoker, I would say that's probably safe lane, and Black will take the Naga mid. We're going to see if that is indeed going to be the case. But as far as LGD goes, I bring this up almost every game, but I just feel like it's so important whether you're Radiant or Dire for your offlane. LGD does not have a good offlaner for Dire at all. Puck potentially can do it, but when you're playing against a Shadow Shaman, when you start casting the orb, he just shackles you.
Yeah.
You can't get out. There's absolutely no escape mechanism for Puck to get out of trouble here. So either LGD will run an aggressive Trollian, or they just abandon the offlane and play Lin in the jungle and Doom. But since it's Lin, I believe he generally plays their position 1, so it's going to be interesting to see. He starts with boots, though. This is very unusual. So, since I'm running with it anyway, we've got Lin on the Doom. In the top lane, 4 heroes moving out at the moment. DD will be playing as the Sand King. We've got Yao on Puck. DDC will be playing as Mirana. And finally, Rabbit on the Morphling.
And for CIS, we have June on the Centaur War Runner, which we're assuming is going to be in the offlane. Black playing the carry Naga Siren. Ayo on the Treant Protector. Demons on the Shadow Shaman, which we're assuming is going to be getting decent farm. Not obviously the main farmer, but Inflame, last but not least, on the mid. Invoker with the wizard hat. He puts on his wizard robe and hat. Is that the meme? Okay, I didn't screw it up. Thank God.
Conrad gives you a thumbs up.
Yes.
That means you did a meme correctly.
Thank you, Conrad. Coming from you, it just means a whole lot, you know.
Conrad's actually a walking meme machine. That's all he does.
Look at
that and fuck up production. Those are like his 2 primary traits.
He's pretty good at it. He's good at everything. Even the bad things.
But great at nothing. Okay.
So it is going to be a Doom versus... I mean, how do you see this working out? Like, Doom, obviously not the greatest. He has some survivability with the Scorched Earth, but other than that, bleh. Like you say, he did get boots, so he'll be a little bit faster than everybody else, but if they can set this up properly, this should be a relatively easy kill.
Yeah, I'm surprised with this laning coming out from LGD. I think they might be overthinking the game right now, thinking that CIS will be doing something weird or something out of the ordinary.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Conrad, we're going to have to do one more thing here, good sir. So bottom right, our names are amazing. You spelled Syndern wrong, first and foremost. And, well, for mine, it's not that big of a deal, but the F is capitalized, which is basically like misspelling it. So that's close enough. We're going to be seeing Black farm this as Conrad just... Oh, actually, Centaur might be setting up a gank here mid. He's going to get his hoof stomp off. Not sure if they have enough damage. Of course, there's only a level 1 Invoker, and the Illusory Orb will be enough for him to get away. But
it's arguably
actually,
the worst level 1 hero in the game.
Yeah, the Invoker.
It's pretty terrible on level 1. No matter
I think they should have waited for him to get 2. Get a little cold snap
that would have
action.
made it really obvious, because if June is missing from the top lane for that long, then
It's true.
something is definitely going on. So the Doom will be sacrificing his offlane completely. I agree with this. Lin can't play there at all. And that means Black will be getting free farm. And at
Looks
the same
good,
time,
Conrad. Love you.
At the same time, the Centaur... Wow, Conrad, that's fantastic. Centaur will be okay in the top lane. I think he's going to get some decent experience here. Of course, we'll have to be a little bit careful. If Sand King does get in close for the Burrow Strike, the Mirana Arrow follow-up and Morphling will be an easy kill. But Radiant always has some things to play around with. But I like this ward. I feel like we don't see this enough. It's a ward that very rarely gets dewarded because it's so far up. Usually you want a sentry around this area so you can cover this, or maybe this one if you want to see in the jungle. But with the lane ward placed directly on the lane, they see Centaur pretty far down, and they can counterplay him very well, and it's unlikely that this gets removed. So good start for LGD in that lane.
Is that
and
Hello
Lin
Kitty?
will actually...
What was that flag? Go back to the top lane. Oh, I might have some action at the bottom lane. Is that a... I can't tell if that's Hello Kitty. That's something cute, though. Lin's going to be getting chased here by the Treant Protector and company.
It actually is Hello Kitty. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's pretty good. Actually, Treant's going to pick up the haste. Don't think they want to dive too far here, but they're going to force him out nonetheless. And that's going to leave Black all alone in the bottom lane. This is going to be one of those games where might not be a kill for quite a while. Fortifications popped
Still
up.
forced a 2-minute glyph, that's decent. And with Black with 2 points in Riptide, he can push pretty quickly here if he wants to. And a good play from AO there to make sure that Doom does not go down and pull the wave. This is what the support has to do in this case. Do not allow him to distort the equilibrium or the push that Black is running there. So Doom... really ineffective for now. He's level 2, 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and he has 2 CS. He started with boots for the offlane, which makes him really weak in the jungle too. So it's like he's kind of put all of his eggs into one basket, and that basket broke. So he's kind of in trouble.
Well, he has a nice aura. So I feel like he could still go jungle, but what I want to focus on is the opposite offlane, which is Centaur. He just keeps running back and forth between the lane. He's still only level... So we're talking about how Doom is struggling, but Centaur is level 1. In the easy off lane, I guess you could call it. And he's next to a Hello Kitty. I mean, maybe he's... I don't know if he's terrified of his own logo, but...
He could have chosen to use the Invis rune to get level 2.5 top for free. Probably. They didn't
oh, is that what he had? He had the Invis?
Yeah, he
okay.
opened the mid lane gank with a sentry when Invoker was level 1.
Oh, that one. Right.
0% kill potential. They got some harassment out on Yao. That's all they got for that. And he sacrificed his off lane. But they won Invoker the lane pretty handily. Inflame is 14 and 10. Yao, who's a good puck player... just can't catch a break in this mid lane. He's 7 and 2, so getting out farmed heavily.
Yeah, big time.
And Inflame also, experience is pretty even. So at the very least, Yao's got that going for him. But surprising, to be honest, since Puck has 10 more damage than the Invoker, I would have expected him to do a little bit better here, even though there was some harassment from Centaur.
Yeah, and the tier 1 tower is going to take some heavy damage from LGD, and of course Centaur at level 2. Not a whole lot he can do.
That's some good experience at least.
Yeah, that is true. He's going to be, he should be level 3 past this wave, if not more. But in fact, you kind of have to trade the tier 1 tower for some experience for Centaur with these lanes set up. But and actually, once it's taken, I feel like he could get a lot more experience than the Doom would in the opposite case. But the boots working out well for Doom apparently, as the tower top was finally destroyed. And now looks like it's going to be a trade of sorts, as Treant, Shadow Shaman, and Black on the Naga Siren is going to finish. Oh, actually, Arrow's going to hit Black. Do they have enough kill potential, though? I doubt it.
That's not a really good living armor while he's got creeps attacking him. Doesn't matter. Shadow Shaman will get the last on the tower. I think this is one of the best supports to get a tower lasted on. It's a very farm-dependent hero. We've talked about in previous casts how good it is when you get a Blink Dagger or fast Arcane Boots. So
I've talked about in this cast, not just previous casts, Syndren.
You mentioned in this one, too?
I talked for like 5 minutes. Okay, not 5 minutes, but it's pretty long.
That's a long time.
5 minutes Dota time, which is like 10 seconds real time.
Nice try.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. This mid lane is absolute domination as the arrow is going to hit the range creep. That's going to help Puck get it with the Illusory Orb. So well done overall.
Next level strategy.
Phase Boot's now picked up by Inflame. And, well, it's a very farm-intensive early game overall. And very, I guess everybody's just trying to get as much experience as possible, which, well, we'll see. Once Centaur hits level 6, I feel like they can start setting things up overall.
I think if you're CIS, you're okay with this for now. Black is getting great farm, so is Morphling, but that's okay since, sure, LGD has some Morphling or some Naga Siren counters later on, but Sand King can't do it alone, and Puck's AoE damage will fall off to quite an extent later on. And if Black is running for this build where he doesn't even get boots, it looks like he's going to go Radiance first.
I don't see why. Okay.
There's the problem.
I'm kind of confused by that, to be honest.
I did not think he was going to go for that.
That's
I thought it was Naked Boots Radiance. This would be an early Radiance
It really
game.
would.
Great farm. There doesn't seem to be any pressure from LGD. Why would you go drum here?
It's very conservative, which I guess fits in with the Chinese scene overall. But, yeah, I think he could have gotten away with it. I mean, maybe he's scared about... I mean, that's the thing. Puck's not getting good farm. Obviously, Doom's not getting good levels. And those are the two main heroes that can really disrupt your farm in the early to mid stages of the game. So I'm not sure. But Sand King... No surprise here. Going to be derooting it up in the jungle. Shout out to Val. Actually, never mind. I don't want to get into that, actually. It's going to start a whole new tangent. $6.1 million in the prize pool now, Synderen. We should be very happy about that.
It's pretty insane how big the prize pool is getting, to be honest. So my prediction earlier, before the qualifiers started, I said 7.5 million. People were like, that's way too high. Oh, wait a second.
EMP, Puck trying to get out, but there's the shackle, just like he talked about, and kaboom! Goes Centaur. Getting the last hit on Puck. So that's finally first blood. Just shy of the 7-minute mark, going CIS's way.
How high do you think that prize pool is going to go? Before the qualifiers, I said 7.5 million. People were like, wow, you're aiming high. That's not going to happen.
Well, what's the highest?
I think Mod was with me. And
what's
he was
the
like
highest
maybe
stretch goal number?
10 million right now.
10? Okay, I don't. We're going to have nice Hex along with the shackle onto the Mirana. I don't think they can pick up this kill, though. And actually, the arrow's going to completely
hit the
miss,
ward.
But, oh, okay. A little consolation prize, I suppose, but I'm trying to think. I think 8 million is probably where I would go with the prize pool. I mean, who knows? Because who knows how many people love upgrading their compendiums? I don't know how obsessed these people are, you know? They're pretty obsessed.
It's an obsession. Must have more. Top lane, Centaur will be getting his level 6 very soon, and actually the Blink Dagger, considering he has 8 CS, this is going to be fairly early. Of course, he did get the first blood, so a lot of extra gold, the 454 going in that direction, and with the bottom tower falling as well, an extra 200 for him, so looking good. In comparison, the Doom is now the same level as Centaur, but he's actually pretty far behind the Centaur in net worth, and a whopping 180 gold, if I may say so myself.
Whoa!
I expected that to be bigger, so that was terrible. But
that gold per minute from the random tick, or not random tick, what is it, like a gold and a half or whatever it is?
1.66, I believe, per second.
Sand King is actually getting really close to his Blink Dagger, and actually I'm thinking that the drums on Naga, do you think that's showing that they actually want to do something earlier than usual with this lineup on CIS?
I'm not sure what to read into it.
I mean, you're going to have drums on Naga, and then you're going to have a blink on Centaur.
If he didn't get the drum, he would have almost had Relic now. He would have had 3k gold.
Yeah.
So he could have had the Relic in like 2 minutes. He could have had an 11-minute Relic, maybe 14-minute Radiance. That would have been a really good timing for Black. But choosing to go this either means he doesn't want to get the Radiance at all, and just they want to try to run with a combat build with drums into Manta and then Diffusal and try to end the game earlier.
June
which
getting
I
chased.
think is gonna
There's
backfire,
the Dream Claw into the Burrow Strike.
Oh,
nice tornado,
tornado,
but June's still taking a lot of damage. Has the Treant armor applied to him. He's going to attempt to run away. Right clicks are there. But alas, he will live. Inflame, another EMP. This time not going to hit anybody, it looks like. He's just going to run out of the way as Blink Dagger's now picked up by Sand King. So these core items starting to stack up in, I guess, both respective teams, because we haven't really seen a whole lot of action, obviously.
Great living armor there coming out from AO to keep Centaur alive. And when a 3-man gank like that, where you use Dream Coil, does not net you the kill, you're starting to worry how LGD are going to approach the game from now on. If they cannot kill the Centaur with this trio as long as there is a tornado and just that living armor, then maybe they sit back and just farm. Doom's got a Midas, but, well, it's a level 4 Mirana. You really want to get some kills, but this support Mirana in this game has had absolutely no impact yet.
Yep.
10 minutes in, not a single kill for LGD. Mirana, in my opinion, when the game goes like this and you're support Mirana, a terrible recovery hero.
Yeah.
She will not get the Midas. she is not the best support item carrier in general.
The problem is they didn't have anything great to set her up with as far as arrows are concerned. I mean, you can't completely rely on the arrows to hit.
No, agree.
I mean, the burrow strike, like we talked about, is the only thing, but it's not reliable whatsoever at these early stages. But now that Sand King has the blink dagger, should make it quite a bit easier to set those up. But Puck's going to pick up the illusion rune at bottom, and smoke is actually applied to LGD, so baiting for this Doom, who's just farming away, but there's really nobody close for CIS, so they're just wasting their time right now.
Yep. Centaur will be getting level 6 in just a second here. Blink Dagger, 350 gold off. If he gets a couple of last hits here and just waits a bit, he will have that. And what do CIS do? If Naga is not playing... Oh, here we go, bottom lane. He's going to get stunned and doomed. Exactly the combination we were talking about. But Stampede could be keeping him alive together with Living Armor.
Yeah, that's...
It's a great disengage lineup they have here as well with those two abilities. And, well, LGD are not going to be happy with this. That was... They thought they had that kill for sure.
Right. Well, this would be funny if Black goes Radiance now and then doesn't use one drum charge. I don't think... I mean, obviously it gives him a little bit of tankability. I still think he would have lived in that scenario without the drums, so... I don't know. It's easy for us to sit back and, well, backseat Dota, but especially you, Synderen.
Yeah, it's so
Make
easy.
it so easy.
But I'm waiting to see what the plan is, because I can... In some games, I think it makes a lot of sense to get drum if you cannot get a fast Radiance, for example, if you get countered, but Black had free farm, so this is where I would say 9 out of 10 carry Nagas or mid Nagas will just be like, great, I get a fast Radiance, but Black has another plan, and since he's holding on to 2600 gold, I think he's gonna go into Radiance now. It's still going to be a decent time. I mean, all things considered, he's invested another 2,000 gold as finally the Mirana does manage to get a kill. That was a pretty big investment. Dream Coil Epicenter used to kill the Centaur, but better safe than sorry. If
at this point, you're not... I mean, as passive as this game is getting, there's not going to be a whole lot of team fights, so definitely worth it as we're seeing the Blink Dagger come into effect yet again. That was the second gank, so 1 for 2. Not too bad for LGD as they're going to tie up the game 1-1. But yeah, as far as the Radiance is concerned, if you're getting good farm, is there any game that you do not go Radiance on Naga, honestly?
Oh, Arrow! Gonna get him the haste rune!
I thought you were actually trolling that there was even an arrow. That would have been pretty good.
I was actually there. But to answer your question about the Radiance Naga, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scenario where if you get free farm on Naga, you do not want to go Radiance. Even if you want to try to end the game early, just the Radiance... it amplifies your farm so heavily. It makes it... I don't know. What's the investment on Radiance? It's 5,000 gold. It's not like you only get farming speed with it, but it earns its own value really quickly when you start split farming effectively with Mirror Image. So generally, for me, it's the go-to item in... I don't want to say every game, but it's pretty damn close.
Right. Well, we'll see what he ends up going. I still assume it's going to be the Radiance like you talked about, but smoke onto LGD again. It's going to dissipate upon Sand King, so they know that Black is there, although we're going to see a little bit of initiation from the Stampede, but they're not able to find anybody. The Shackle was not there, surprisingly enough, although he did Sheep to start it off, but didn't follow it with Shackle for whatever reason. That actually could have been a kill, despite Mirana having Leap.
And worth keeping in mind is how bad Shadow Shaman's Hex is in level 1 compared to Lion's.
That's true.
That's a really big difference. It's a 1.25 second Hex that Shadow Shaman has in level 1. I think Lion's is twice. It's 2.5 on level 1, right?
His is ridiculous.
Really damn good.
Well, also keep in mind that generally speaking, hexes on both of those guys are actually buffed in the last patch, just because...
Indirectly because of the side nerf.
Right, the side nerf to Scythe of Vice, having, what is it, 160 move speed now?
140, I think.
140?
And other hex units have 100 with the spell hexes, so... Does make a difference. Black will now have 400 gold to go for Radiance. We've been talking a lot about the cores. We generally tend to do that, of course, since they start playing a big role later on in the game, but let's talk a little bit about the support. Shadow Shaman, level 5 at 14 minutes. Kind of underwhelming. You want to be level 6 at this point. At least maybe level 7 or 8. He's going to get it now, finally, with that
must have felt good.
Up. AO on the train is level 5. I guess that's okay, considering that there hasn't been much... He hasn't been able to do much in this game with Treant, apart from playing defensively. They just haven't drafted an aggressive Treant lineup. But is he going to be useful in the mid-late game? Treant, for me, is one of those heroes where if you don't use him very well in early game, I feel like he's just generally underwhelming.
Well, and that's pretty much what we always see, actually.
Yes.
I feel like. But I like the pickup from Invoker. Looked like he's working on an Orchid against the Puck and to some degree the Morphling as well. And that'll be nice, because especially for Puck, because Puck's not going to be getting a BKB. And you don't really see Lincoln's on him very often anymore either, so we'll see if he chooses to get that or not. But Blink has finally picked up on that Puck. I wanted to mention that. the 15-minute mark, so struggled heavily against that Invoker, as we talked about. As we have initiation, Hoofstomp's going to miss. Nice leap away from Marana, and the EMP
He's actually going to take the EMP damage. He's going to die.
Wow, Inflame, you're a beast of burden. Doom is applied to Centaur. Looks like he will fall. He's going to get denied, though.
Yeah, he will.
Inflame gets beautiful denied. Up. Now we have a Dream Coil, but the Ghost Walk is there. Do they have any vision whatsoever? Oh, the dust. Does it hit him? It does. Here comes the Illusory Orb. Don't know if they have any lockdown past this, though, so they're not going to pursue any further.
Very nicely played.
And Black does have enough for his Sacred Relic if he chooses to go down that route.
We haven't talked too much about Morphling either, because he's just been in the top lane just the same as Naga has been in the bottom lane, and I guess the reason we're not talking about him too much is that they're kind of following the same pattern. They're within 10 CS of each other, they're just farming the safe lane a bit in the jungle. Morphling will get the Lincolns first. I'm assuming it's going to be a shotgun build for him this game. Shadow Shaman, an excellent target for shotgun, a huge counter to Morphling and an easy kill for him when he has the shotgun himself. Also has good synergy with his team. A lot of the time, people focus on just the burst damage from the shotgun itself, but of course, making the enemy team ethereal when you have like Sand King, Puck, Doom, and Marana,
that's true,
gives you some very easy follow-up damage if you cannot one-shot them yourself.
Sand King's in a TP top. Only a 2-2 game, so pretty passive overall. As Doom's taking so much damage from this cold snap, and Flame's finding kills all over the place. He's been in
all 3 kills?
Every kill. Yeah, he's been involved in every single kill.
His kill attendance is a whopping 3.
Well, 100%.
Out of 3.
100% is all that matters. So these hoof stomps have not been online, but of course it's against heroes that have pretty decent escape mechanisms overall. As there is the Shadow Shaman Wars that we've been talking about.
Arrow?
Oh, Arrow is not going to hit it. Actually runs out before the range, but...
They're on the same team.
How dare you? How dare you correct me, Hey, it wouldn't have hit anyway, so my point still stands. The duration...
Excellent analysis.
The range was not there, as Doom picks up a mechanism for himself. Actually, Inflame getting decently close to his Orchid as well. And he's finding kills without it, so that's going to be pretty scary for LGD once he does get that. But Tier 1 Tower taking quite a bit of damage. And oh, we have a Sheep, but of course doesn't last very long.
Nice
There's initiation on the Shadow Shaman. He gets destroyed, although he's still alive.
How's he
gets
still
his
alive?
Shackle off somehow. Overgrowth not quite there. As Puck, he's going to phase shift out of a lot of damage, but will go down nonetheless. Nice Dream Coil overall. Doom applied to Inflame. He's just going to run away, though. I don't think they can follow this up with anything. June gets Burrow Striked. They're going to surround him with 4. Hoof Stomp is off, but only hits 1 and goes down to the burst damage. So 3-for-1 exchange in LGD's favor.
Yeah, and they're going to get the Tier 1 as well. And more importantly than anything, I guess, was that they also held their own Tier 1. And when you're playing against Treant, it's really important if you can to get a tower advantage, since if you don't bring them down in one go, Treant will heal them back up. So very nice play here from LGD to go aggressive like that. The moment Doom has the mech, they realize they are superior in team fights. And Naga from Black, there we go. 18-minute Radiance with drum first is an excellent timing. He would have had it at 13 without the drums, but yeah, this is still going to be, for me, it's going to be good enough for him. He's 1,000 gold behind Morphling now because he got 3 kills in that fight, and did he get the tower last hit as well? No, that went to Doom. So, but still, Black can outfarm this Morphling with Naga, I think, especially if he starts using his illusions aggressively in the dire jungle, so Morphling does not get that farm. And will also be able to counter Doom that way, so it's going to be really nice. I think he's going to steal this one, actually, right now with a Riptide. It's just so annoying playing against Naga. We had this question on the lounge stream the other day, like, if you could remove one hero from the game, which one would you remove?
Oh, top lane, Rabbit taking so much damage, but his Lincolns is there. EMP will drain all his mana, so he's not be of much use in this fight. He's just going to run away. Nice Burrow Strike onto Treant, but gets trapped within the wards. And Sand King goes down as a result. Puck on the run. And I believe LGD wants to get the hell out of here, but actually Treant's still stuck in the wards. As the arrow will not connect. But does CIS want to continue to push this without those wards in range of the tower is the question. Oh,
no, not with Rabbit.
Nice use of Replicate, bringing Morphling back into the fight. As he already has the Ghost Scepter, so you're right, going straight for that shotgun build.
I think it's the best choice here. It makes a lot of sense. Does not... it's one of those items that will make you scale well into the late game as well, just because you will inevitably get a couple of free kills along the way, and if he doesn't need to fight yet, but can just snipe heroes left, right, and center, it's going to snowball his farm too. And the stats of the item, it's not just the shotgun itself, it gives a lot of agility, of course, which is great for Morphling, and to that, the ability to might come in handy being able to decrepify himself, not only as an aggressive tool, but as a defensive tool. If you're orchided by Invoker, for example, it's a way for you to avoid taking quite a bit of damage.
Technically, it's not decrepify, bro.
Yeah. What do you mean?
It's Ghost. It's ethereal.
Okay.
Decrepify is an actual spell. In the
yes.
game. I'm correcting you, Cinder.
I bet this makes you feel good, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Bottom lane.
A little bit.
Doom could be in trouble here. Centaur with the blink and Invoker with the setup here. But
Morphling's there as well,
He needs a
though.
bit of time. He's in Ghost Walk. EMP will now be ready, but they can't drain enough mana.
Such a
they might
greedy
choose
build
to try
for
to go
black.
for it. Yeah, no way it's going to work. Nope.
Well, actually, he does get drained of a lot of mana, but Doom is here to scare everybody off. The Stampede's actually popped as a result.
DD.
Here comes the Burrow Strike, Epicenter combination in Flame. There's the Dust as well. He's going to get slowed. And the Doom. They're putting everything on this guy. Level Death to follow. Replicate is there. Morphling's going to continue to chase. He's going to be able to get the last hit. Morphling does get it. Shackle onto Rabbit now. Arrow hits directly in Demon's ass. And the Dream Coil will hit too, and that's going to cause Treant to go down as well. So this is 3 for nothing in LGD's favor.
And the unfortunate thing for CIS here is that Black couldn't join. He used his Boots of Travel to go top. So I think what CIS needs to be aware of now is that LGD are exploiting the fact that Black is on another lane. The Song of the Siren has not been used yet this game in a 21-minute game.
That's true.
And it is their best disengage. They have Stampede and that to take to just reset if they get in trouble. But with him not in the right position, it's just too easy for LGD to get these kills. They're overrunning them, they're outnumbering them, and Black is not really getting too good of a trade. He's still on par with the Morphling's farm. He did not manage to take the tier 1 tower top, and might be able to kill Yao here. He doesn't have mana.
Oh boy.
He's gonna get Riptide. He's gonna die here.
Oh boy.
That sucks.
That's so sad to watch.
And Black even goes inside XP range. So now he finally gets a trade, but will not get the tower. The TP's there from Rabbit.
It's the most anticlimactic kill of all time, I think. But Rabbit is starting to get truly, truly farmed. 2,200 gold on top of the Ghost Scepter that we talked about. So only about 1,000 away from finishing that Ethereal Blade. And once he gets to that point, like, what does CIS do? I mean, Naga, obviously a great hero for the late game. We're going to have Orc Initiation on the DDC along with the EMP. It's going to hit. Is this going to be enough to get the kill? It is. Okay,
and
actually
Flame's
popped to
been
the
playing very well
pop
so
to the
far.
actual Orchid.
Very impressed with his play. I can't really put a finger on it. He's been making the right rotations. He's been casting the spells correctly. His only death was because he got really hard countered by multiple spells. There's the aggressive Tornado here onto DD. We'll actually go for the Orchid kill here, but no. Doom. The presence of Doom will scare him off, even though Doom actually didn't have any mana there. So perhaps Inflame could have gone for another kill right there. But
Not getting greedy.
with no points in Exhort, I guess it's too hard there. He didn't have, I believe he didn't have Cold Snap available. Or, sorry, he had used that already, so couldn't really bring down the target there.
Who do you favor late game? I mean, I think a lot of people feel like Naga is arguably the best carry to have on your team.
What's late
in the
game?
extreme late game? Well, okay, let's just say, well, in this qualifiers,
60 plus?
well, like 120-minute games.
120-minute game. 120-minute game, I favor the Dire.
Okay.
60 or 45-minute game, I think CIS will have like a sweet spot when Naga is 6-slotted and when Invoker has Hex and Orchid. And maybe even a third item. By the rate Inflame's going in this game, he could have both Orchid, Hex, and a BKB in 22 minutes, I think. So that would be realistic. Or a Linken's if he wants that against the Doom. And Centaur, but he hasn't really got much farm this game. I haven't felt the presence of June too much just yet. He's had a good Hoofstomp or two and some good Stampedes, but as far as farm goes, he is far behind the general farm of Centaur at this point. Okay.
That is true, and it's truly sad for me to see as a huge Centaur lover myself, but they are smoked right now, so trying to set something up with Black, pushing this mid lane, but LGD will group up behind their tier 2, so we'll see if this ends up being an engagement of some sort. Shadow Shaman wards are placed. Going to put a little bit of pressure on this tower, along with the illusions of Naga, which are just truly, truly good. But of course, he doesn't have that heart yet, so not the most
difficult. A lot of gold for Rabbit.
Oh, nice. Tornado. Is the EMP actually going to hit Rabbit? It is. He can't even waveform away. And actually, that might... Yeah, that's going to force them all back, and this is a free tier 2.
Not really oh, wait. They don't want it. Oh, they do. Oh, okay.
Fortifies there.
This is going to get denied by the
It's going to be a
Morphling.
denial
I'm calling
attempt.
it right now.
Oh, big plays! Nope, Shadow Shaman getting with the wards. Or maybe
So he's
it's
got
Shadow
2
Attack.
towers. He's going to have the Blink in about 200 gold. And as we have talked about in previous games, Blink Dagger and Shadow Shaman is really good.
Thank you, Cinder, and I appreciate that.
There's the... I was about to call it Shadow Blade. Ethereal Blade for the Morphling. Let's do a one-shot head count. Shadow Shaman dies.
Yep. That's it.
That's it?
Well,
It's not really too impressive. I feel like a
true.
lot of the games when Morphling gets that, he has like 2 or 3 targets.
and that's the benefit of having a Treant, I suppose. If nothing
Yes.
else, he just has a good strength gain. So
Yes! Can walk in the front line, be irrelevant, and
first
not get
pick.
focused.
He's first pick, bro, because
Yeah.
of that strength gain. Smoke now on LGD, so they're going to go on the offensive, or perhaps even go for the Roshan or perhaps even baiting it on top of that. But of course, Doom has the mech. They have good team fight.
Oh, and Flame
with the Sand King.
The Hastron.
Even a Moonlight Shadow. Oh, nice Tornado. It's only going to hit one, though, but surprised he even thought that. There's the Dream Coil. Stampede's not really going to help him Flame here. He's going to get arrowed. He's going to get burrow strike. He's going to get level death. Sand King getting the last hit with the Sandstorm, I should say. And they're going to go straight into Roshan now.
A little greedy there from Inflame. That's perhaps the first misplay we can really point out in this game. Dropping the Tornado from that position exposed him. He has max Wex. He could have gone up here and thrown it from there into the Roche Pit if he wanted to scout. So he did put himself at risk, and LGD fast on the fingers there to get a kill. I don't think they're going to get this Roche, though. Oh, they're going to Living Armor an Illusion of Black just to put pressure. DDC will have to run. He might die. He's going to die.
Are you serious?
Black is just completely crushing them.
That's going to force him out of Roche. That's unbelievable.
Has he even used Ensnare yet this game?
No.
I don't think so. He's actually killing them.
Has he attacked an actual hero with his actual hero?
I don't know.
He's gotten 2 illusion kills. Other than that, I'm not sure. This tier 1 tower, it's going to go down one way or another, but the question is going to be denied. Cardi the Catapult working his hardest. Oh, beautifully done, Cardi. Sorry we couldn't get you into the game. Invoker now picks up a gem. He's always remembered. He's like the 20th generation Cardi the Catapult, but we still love him the same. Centaur picks up the Hood of Defiance. Love that item. In all likelihood, we'll be going for the pipe, which...
Likelihood?
Haha, pretty good.
That was a Suns fan joke.
Yeah,
that was actually dad joke tier.
But he will be going for the pipe to... like we've talked about this in the past, as Black and company are going to be pushing this top lane, but the Doom from Doom, which is really dumb, by the way. It should Doombringer's Doom... It actually gets blocked a bit by pipe now, so that's something to keep in mind, of course.
Yeah, I think the pipe is going to be great here. Sometimes you want to just get the hood to give you a lot of more magic resistance for yourself, and of course take less damage from using double edge, which is the main reason it's core on Centaur. But in this game, the pipe is really damn good for his team.
Moonlight Shadows popped along with the replicate, just from one Orchid. So CIS forcing out a little bit of LGD spells, but they won't be too sad about that, as Mirana's not going to be perusing the enemy jungle with his boots, belt of strength, and wards. And looks like Inflame. Is this... okay, I was going to say, I couldn't tell if he was Invis or just Ghost Walk. His arrow is not going to connect.
Dodge from Inflame. Black was there with the hero.
I think he got the kill with the illusions, though, so that, I don't know if that counts.
He used Ensnare. To me, that's the big part of that.
The value point Ensnare for the win. Is he going to go stats, or do you level that up even
I think
more?
he just goes stats. There's no need in this game for leveling up the Ensnare. It's just an initiation mechanism. If nothing else, it can force a leap, or force a waveform, or force a phase shift, or something like that. And
or a burrow strike. Every single hero aside from Doom has something.
Yes, so the leveled Ensnare isn't that good here. And when you're playing Naga as a support, I think it makes a lot more sense to level it than as a core. But he is actually going to get a second skill point into it, although...
oh, demons. Gonna find the Sand... oh, Sand King's actually gonna go for the Invoker. But here's the Blink Initiation we talked about time and time again with demons. He's gonna use all he has to try to prevent the inevitable. Actually, he might TP out here. Level death, level death!
Playing.
So it gets everybody out. It does
Rabbit
cost
gets
the
200
wards.
gold, though. Oh, what's that?
Yes.
300? 300 gold, roughly. So, kind of a big sacrifice. And I'm not sure why the Shadow Shaman dropped the wards there. I don't think there was any turnaround potential the moment Doom was visible, so... a little bit of a misplay, but in the heat of the moment, you have to make the call very, very quickly. And at least they made the right call to get out. If they would have fought there under the wards, they would have both died. So
I think Stampede was used as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so
that's how the Shadow Shaman was able to get out. So good recovery from CIS. And Black, who was tied with Morphling, is now 3,000 gold ahead. I don't think I've ever seen this poor support Mirana in my life in a top tier.
Yeah.
This is really, really not good. Looking good for LGD. There's so much weight on the Morphling shoulders here. Sure, you've got a Doom as your secondary core with Midas, but with this item build, it's going to take a long time before he starts doing significant damage. He's got all defensive. He has mech, BKB. What's up next? Are we going to see the Ags refresher build from him, or is he going to go full Aura Monster, which...
what would you prefer this game?
I don't think this is necessarily a good Axe refresher game because he didn't get good enough farm for that.
Bottom
I think
lane.
it's a momentum-based
oh,
build.
there's the... okay, go ahead. Don't even need to commentate that at all.
The Axe refresher build is more of a momentum build, I feel, which you get when you're having a good game. And his game so far hasn't been too good, so... in this position, maybe he wants to go the Aura build, where he just helps his team out a lot, but... again, the problem is if the Morphling gets countered by CIS at some point, then all these auras, Doom himself is not going to carry enough weight. So maybe you get one aura, and then you turn into carry build from then on with getting something... I don't know. The Kiras is probably the best aura he can get for the team, also the most expensive one. Maybe we see something like an Abyssal Blade, perhaps, out of the Doom, even though that's kind of unusual.
I like this Cyclone's pickup by Puck here. He can for the most part, the Orchid is the biggest reason for getting that. But of course, if you don't have lockdown for the Shadow Shaman who's shackling, which we haven't seen a whole lot of this game, but it's also obviously very good for that. Is Boots of Travel now on Doom? That's pretty greedy.
I'm surprised he went for that. I think he needs to get more cost-effective items. He could have got a Vlad's instead if he wanted something right now, but maybe they think... Here's the issue. If you get the Boots of Travel, is to push out the lanes and counter the Naga, but Doom cannot even stand against these illusions. At least not in... When Naga gets his next item, which is coming up very soon here for Black, I'm assuming it's going to be a heart. Doom is going to need 10 seconds to kill one Naga illusion. So the Boots of Travel for him aren't actually that useful in terms of pushing out the lanes. I can understand where he's coming from, but Naga is just one of those heroes that, because of just the nature of being able to split push all 3 lanes at once, I think the heroes you want to have the Boots of Travel on the heroes who can actually kill the Naga illus at this point, which is Morphling, arguably maybe the Sand King, but also he is going to be trailing now. This is looking like a really good game for CIS.
What do you think about the Morphling BKB on top of Linken's after getting Ethereal?
It tells me that LGD want to fight. I think they realize that if they just sit back and farm, the Naga will be overpowering them in about 15 minutes, and then, sure, if they can hold on for another 20, then maybe they can win the late game with the lineup they have, but they want
with
to
Mirana's farm, it's just not.
Yeah, that's true.
Given.
Mirana's just going to be an absolute non-factor. She is a walking arrow and Moonlight Shadow. Nothing
Moonlight
else.
Shadow's nice.
But I think it's a call for LGD, just a strategic call. We need to build items that are effective in the next 5 to 10 minutes. We need to fight. We need to secure the Roshan. Arguably could be important, and try to get some towers. But I don't know if Black's going to let them. That's the problem. He will be constantly split pushing, and the Doom cannot stop this push with his Boots of Travel.
Well, we have a amalgamation of heroes from both sides, close to the Ancients for the Dire. Puck and company. Do they actually want to go for Roshan at some point? I mean, it's been 31 minutes, 32 minutes. We haven't really seen Rosh be attempted by any means. And, well, Naga is going... She has
Maybe
ultimate
it's
orb. So you think that might be a Linken's?
It could be a Scotty, but that's kind of unusual to get at this point.
Well, Scotty's good, but against this lineup, not the greatest, I guess. I mean, obviously the stats are really good for Naga.
That's the main reason you would get it. It's not for the orb, because that obviously only works on your main hero. But it's a great stat item, gives a lot of health and armor and attack speed, but I think it's the Linken's coming out for Black. And it is indeed, he's got it. 32-minute Linken's will guard him a bit more against the single target disables from LGD, so I kind of like this choice, but this also, of course, the all attributes do affect the illusions, so they do get these 15 all attributes, but the heart with the 40 strength could have perhaps been a little more effective at this point, since, let's be honest, Black has he been in a fight yet? Which wasn't just a one-on-one where he
If he had been in a fight, he would have used one of his drum charges, I feel like. So he's still at 5.
Yeah.
Which it's going to be funny because he's going to end up selling that at some point without using one charge. That's my prediction, at least. I'm guessing his next item of choice will be a heart, and then some sort of harder DPS. Like a... Well, I guess it could be a Daedalus, it could be a Butterfly, which I guess is a mix of the two. Or... I really like... Diffusal, but we don't see that very often on her anymore.
Not as often as I think we should. It is indeed a great item. I think Black's item build in this game is going to consist of a heart next instead of the Aquila. And then I think he gets Diffusal too. I still think it's the best choice here over the Butterfly, at least for now. Because of the way LGD's lineup works, the physical damage is not Black's biggest issue right now. So the Butterfly, sure, it gives you great attack speed and damage, but maybe the Diffusal a little bit more effective in terms of overall just mana draining in the fights, being more of a pestilence around the map, and of course, being able to drain the mana from some of these heroes which are really mana dependent. For example, Doom. I think it has BKB, so perhaps... I actually don't want to make a clear call on this one whether Diffusal or Butterfly is better. They both have their merits here for sure.
Well, Blink is now on Doom. You have to assume that Ryan, God, I'm good, that he'll be initiating upon somebody like Invoker. I would feel like might be the best bet, especially when you have the Tornado EMP to worry about in the Quaswex Invoker. But you're right, Black is farming out of control, almost 100 more CS than the Morphling, which...
And they're grouping up bottom.
Shouldn't be too surprised with this, since it is Naga after all. But yeah, they're going to group up.
Steve's like, oh, there's a Naga in this game.
Oh, she has drums? Holy Jesus! Better watch out for that. They're going to be continuing to push.
Let's use the drums, guys. DD's
going to happen.
Nice pipe usage here, prematurely.
DD, though, he's waiting in the wings, seeing it. Oh, Invis here for the tree ant, but...
Well, Demons is going to get scouted out. He got spotted by that arrow.
Yeah, but he has a blink.
Okay, so
and he has a compendium, so the blink is even more effective.
That thing I said about nice pipe usage, wasn't really that nice.
Yeah, now I don't feel like they go in just because of the pipe.
Yeah, it's a really important item for them right now. But at the very least, they did force down everyone on the Dire team, so they did see the Morphling in the lane, so they know he's not split pushing or farming elsewhere. So now Black can just be like, okay, well, as long as Morphling follows me around, I'm not getting out farmed. So he's going to go in the jungle again.
Right.
We'll be farming here, and maybe you just try to let the Illusion siege here. This tier 2 tower has 200 health. It's easily possible for them to just shove in the lane and let Black do it. And maybe that's the biggest merit here of getting the butterfly. It's not for necessarily for the damage output, but just the evasion. When the heart comes in and then the butterfly, the AoE damage from LGD might not be enough to kill them. Here's the butter.
They're gonna find DD. The EMP's gonna hit him completely. He pops his arcane boots and wand, and will thus blink away to safety. Maybe we'll see a Song of the Siren as well, along with that drum charge, very shortly, Synderen.
Yep.
But Sand King's just gonna TP out, so it looks like they might just give up this tower with this replicate now on Rabbit. The pipe is popped. Don't think that LGD wants to fight quite yet.
Living armorless illusion. Yeah, this tower's gone. Black will get it.
And wow, that was okay. Good, big plays. Big plays, Rasta.
What?
I feel like they could have. Well, I don't know if you want to force a fight into Roche, but with Song of the Siren, I feel like it's a possibility still. Even with those wards, you could.
It was like, hey, Rabbit, thanks for the tower. Here's 300 gold for you. Consider it a fair trade. And I was like, okay, well.
4,000 gold lead for Naga above the Morphling at this point, but to what end, Synderen? To what end? I mean, he's going to be getting his heart next, like you talked about. I'd be shocked if it's not, if it's something else.
If the main concern for him was the physical damage, I think the butterfly is actually a more cost-effective item here for the illusions. But since the only real issue is the AOE damage spell damage type here from Black, I think the heart is better. But then after that, the thing that's going to start kicking in here is that when he has the heart, the spell damage is not going to be enough to kill the illusions anymore. They'll start needing to do physical damage to kill them, and then the butterfly gives a lot of EHP. I think that will be a nice pickup.
There's some aggressive warding here for LGD along with the smoke. They might transition this into a Roche, actually, a Roche attempt, I should say. But they're going to go to the bottom lane. I don't think they want to push this tier 2 yet, but considering how passive this game has been, I just expect both teams to farm until everybody's 6-slotted, but I guess you don't see that every time.
I think CIS wants to start pressuring when Black is full, because that's when their lineup is the strongest. They will, as we see on the net worth right now, sure, Black is number 1, but then you've got Morphling. Doom is now 5,000 gold ahead of the Invoker. That's just Midas Devour right there. He's getting way more farm than Invoker is. Centaur will inevitably be falling off in the late game as well, compared to in the early game. At least with this amount of farm, he doesn't have too good of a catch-up mechanism.
I really like this.
Okay,
I really like this BKB on Invoker. The Yules is now not nearly as useful, and the Orchid. Well, I guess you can still self-apply it, so not that big of a deal. But Heart now, finally on Black. Is this enough? Or does he want buyback?
They can't kill me if he's piped.
Oh, even a blink on Tria, so they have some initiation to follow. The Song of the Siren. If they finally choose to use it at some point this game, that would be beautiful. They have really good setup though. They have Overgrowth, Rasta wards, EMP after the Song of the Sirens. That's pretty sick, actually.
Now you're going to start seeing these illusions.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. They cannot deal with this with spells alone. Once these get a butterfly...
Wow.
Like,
Morana, man.
This is just... I feel sorry for the guy. This is really not a support Morana game. I don't feel like he's been playing poorly. There's just like nothing to do. And here we go. Pressure is being applied. I think this is a great strategic call from CIS. Heart is up, go put some pressure.
Oh, and there we go, opening from Centaur, but he's almost getting blown up. Deafening Blast applied to Doom, who's going to walk away barely with his life. Going to have to go back to Fountain, good sir. These illusions and Inflame should be able to take this tower out. Very little issue very shortly here. Rabbit, yeah, a really nice ice wall, actually. I'm guessing Morphling must have buyback at this point, because this would be very reckless.
Yes, he does. There are 3 buybacks on the Dire, Morphling, Puck, and Doom, so the 3 cores. But the
I don't think I've ever seen a 40-minute game with no Song of the Siren used.
That's pretty amazing.
You love that. You hate that spell.
This is an absolute world record. I hate everything about Naga. That's just my personal preference. The tower, 60 HP. I think we're going to see a deny coming out here from LGD. They know this is going to fall eventually anyway. Sand King will be taking that. And CIS got what they came for. They're going to go split push the top lane again now. Invoker will be starting that off. Butterfly now, picked up on the Morphling. So he's got 250 agility right now. Still the only target. Now I think he might be able to one-shot Trian, actually.
Yeah, it's possible.
He's got 1200. If there's no pipe on him, pipe activated, then they could probably kill him. But
I think he can do substantial damage to Invoker, too.
Bring up the hero level chart. This is the most This is the weirdest hero level chart I've seen in a while. So Treant is level 9 in a 40-minute game. He has 1 kill, 0 assists.
But living armor, Synderen.
Morphling is way ahead of Naga in experience just because Naga is not farming with his main hero half the time. It's the illusions killing, and of course you don't get global experience for that unless it's on a hero kill. And Rabbit will be soloing Roshan. Okay. Nobody's going to contest him here. He has the...
it's a good choice.
Really easy time with this. Yeah, this is a great call from him.
What are you going to do with that Morbid map, bro? Kill it. Kill it! Damn it!
Getting ages. I'm surprised CIS let this happen. Considering how tight a grip they have on the map right now with all this split pushing, they should have something to guard Roshan with. They could have sent in a Naga illusion all the time. They could have warded better. Or...
I'd kind of like to see...
Or they could have just, seriously, just put the Treant here. Standing next to this tree in Nature's Guise for the next 6 minutes. He could have stood there. It's pretty OP,
actually.
That's
for the level 9 Treant.
Top lane. June is going to go in on DD. Don't think he can solo him here.
Sandstorm's use Hoofstomp, of course, off cooldown for another 8 seconds. Burrow Strike into TP. And another non-kill. 9 to 10 for the advantage of LGD.
Non-kill. Stacking them up nicely here for the double edge. Good play by June. Got him.
What was I talking about, Cinder? I'm losing my train of thought here. Sange actually picked up by Centaur, so going for a halberd at some point, that should be pretty good.
Or the late game SNY that Black was showing off in his 115-minute game.
Maybe it's rubbing off on the rest of his teammates. That's definitely possible. Never underestimate the power of SNY, especially in the soon-to-come ARDM. Best item you could possibly pick up in ARDM. Just a future note for you players out there. Don't listen to Synderen. I'm an ARDM veteran. That's all you need to know. And actually, Diffusal. So you were correct.
I thought he was going to get the butterfly, so thank you very much.
You were correct. No, you said that first, though.
I said it was going to be either or, but I could see advantages and disadvantages for both. I think if what they want to do is this slow, steady building siege, Butterfly is just the better pickup. Gives him more tankability, deals more damage. If they want to fight, Diffusal Blade is arguably a little bit better right now, but later on will be falling off, and he will be replacing this with a Butterfly anyway, I think, at some point. So unless if he wants to sell the Lincolns and turn that one into a butter, so he has butter and Diffusal too. Let's see if that's his choice. But that drum, I agree. I feel like, did they even use a drum charge? Didn't really get too much out of it, but he's still far ahead. So
oh, he didn't. Okay. He didn't use it, did he?
I don't think so.
I was correct.
And Fear, if he didn't go for that drum, he would have had Radiance 5 minutes faster. Would that have resulted in him having full inventory now? You think?
I think he could just go a little.
They can't hear him, by the way.
He could have had Aquila. He already had an Aquila, right? He got drums without Aquila. Okay. So maybe he should have got the Aquila instead, but regardless, is getting great farm. The top tier 2 is now going to fall. And here's my question for LGD. How the hell are you going to start pushing the map?
That's what I was going to say. I feel like Boots of Travel would be a good pickup here from Morph, because you can just replicate, you can Boots of Travel to each lane, push them independently just by yourself, as long as you don't get picked off, which he has a lot of survivability, along with the Aegis itself. I feel like that buys your team a lot of time. But Plate Mail now on Doom. This is like an item progression game. We're just going to watch. It's like they agreed to not get above 10 kills past the 40-minute mark so they can get as many items as possible. More like a... Oh,
they got him.
Orchid on the illusion. Oh, that illusion's getting owned! It's the most exciting thing that's happened in the past 20 minutes. But either way, 3 minutes left on the Aegis. Will be popping from Morphling.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be using this. And it's not because they don't want to, but I just think they can. And now, this is, to me, going to be the story of the game.
God, DDC, man.
Oh my god, no, not again! DDC!
Forced the mech out. And the tornado will get him killed! Oh, this game is just... epic. Oh my, okay, there you go. Shotgun on Treant is enough to get the kill, so it's a 1-for-1 exchange. BKB
Song
now on
of the Siren!
Song of the Siren finally used. Woo! 43 minutes. This is a record, I have to say. Stampede used defensively, though, as everybody's on the run, and we're back to the farming game, ladies and gentlemen. 10 to 11 LGD. This barn burner, Synderen, holy jeez.
CIS,
holy jeez.
Amazing play. They got out of there.
That epic Song of the Siren. Oh, hey. He finished his level 2 Diffusal.
Yes.
What do you replace? Let's say you have 10k. What do you buy?
Since he just got the Diffusal Blade, I think he will sell his Lincolns for a Butterfly. Else he would have gone for the Butterfly straight away. Or maybe it's just the trend of the game. This is a charge item, so I'll buy it, not use it, and then sell it.
That's what I want to ask. So 0 drum chargers were used, and then he sold it, right? How many times has Lincoln's been popped on Naga? I would say maybe 1 time maximum. And now he's going to sell it. It's just like all this resale value all over the place, but... yeah, good stuff. Real good stuff. BKBs galore on pretty much every hero at this point. I expect the end fight to have every hero with the BKB, except for maybe Tree because we know he's
and
useless at level 9.
Mirana almost has the good old 45-minute Force Staff.
Oh, piece.
So
I like Force Staff on her, though.
it's good. I'm not blaming the item. It's a good item choice here for DDC, and honestly, he has just had a really hard game here.
Oh, Sunstruku! It actually doesn't matter, but the Aegis is now popped, and that is the most exciting thing that's happened in the past 10 minutes.
I still think the song was a pretty epic
Okay,
play.
fine.
That
You got me. You got me there.
I have never been so excited for a Song of the Siren in my life.
Oh, I have initiation here. Hoof Stomp, double edge. Of course, the Lincoln's coming into effect here. Puck, a nice Dream Coil on 2. Morphling very low. He's trying to morph to agility for God knows what reason. Finally, the strength comes into play. BKB pop, though. 1 dead. It is Rasta. And now the Doom applied to Inflame as he tries to run away as well. Overgrowth on Doom and only Doom, but he's taking so much damage from Black. Look how durable he is.
Lincoln's worked.
He's actually going to get a kill with his actual hero this time. He's going to do it.
Defusal used too. What am I watching? Got him.
As Rana goes down as well. And then Snare goes through BKB, but he's not going to continue this pursuit. As he's just going to Burrow Strike with it on.
That's a full value
Looks
defusal
hilarious.
right there. This range barracks is done. The melee barracks also going to fall. There's no buyback on LGD, and Morphling was so close to dying there as well. That would have been a disaster. Sure, he had buyback, but then he would have had to use that. DD is going to use Epicenter and not blink until half the Epicenter is over.
It's okay.
We'll now be going in.
Oh! A bigger prey!
Everything goes blue.
It's okay. Ice Wall's down.
The entire mood of the game goes blue.
A little bit surprised they couldn't get the melee racks there, but considering how this game is going, I guess it's to be expected, so that's perfectly fine. It is tied 12-12. Range racks has been penetrated. I'm so excited. Good God, Synderin.
This is a big play for CIS. They have started the siege. It is now ongoing. I feel like this is like I'm thinking of the Helm's Deep scene from Lord of the Rings 2 right now, which is like such an extremely long siege, and it's just the same thing over and over again.
Oh, we have a blink hex. That's something new. Haven't seen that a whole lot this game, but Ross is going to get destroyed.
Oh, here we go. Okay. 2-man Dream Coil.
Dream Coil. The arrow's going to miss. Actually, it's going to hit the BKB target, but of course it's not going to go through BKB. June taking some damage from the newly picked up Scotty on Rabbit, actually. Pretty nice pickup overall. Diffusal, or I'm sorry, Deafening Blast doing absolutely nothing. Same as the Treant, who just goes in and dies. So it's a 2-for-0 exchange. LGD coming out on top in this very small engagement. And we're back to normal.
Morphling is 10-0.
Is he really?
By the way, he's beyond godlike. I thought he had like 3 kills, but he has all the kills for his team almost here. 10 out of the 14, and it's looking good for Rabbit. Again, the question is, so this is what it comes down to. Like, Treant is going to be absolutely useless. I think Shadow Shaman could have easily farmed more than he did, considering the way the game went. He could have been more greedy in the jungle, could have had his Ag Scepter, maybe been working on a BKB.
Yeah.
But in fights now, he's also just getting shotgun. He gets one shot by the Morphling. So,
well, really,
where do you go from here?
Yeah, both heroes, all they can really do is blink ult or blink hex in terms of BKB is forced at a DD, but looks like he will get out. What number is that BKB at now? Let's take a gander at that. Is that an 8-second BKB? Beautiful, beautiful.
Doom is on 7, and Morphling is on 7. And
so that means we've had 3 fights.
Yes,
is that correct?
That is correct. You use 1 per fight.
Excellent. Math so good.
Invoker will be working on a Scythe of Vice. I think this is going to be a very important pickup. That my prediction early on in the game was that Inflame would probably have it by now. He could have had a little more farm. He's not that far off, so the guess was pretty reasonable. He's 1,400 gold off right now, which is like a few minutes if he gets to farm. I think if you're CIS now, you give Blacklist farm. You don't let him keep farming. The other heroes need it. They can use it way better than him once he has the full inventory, and he can get that in the enemy jungle. Let the other heroes farm the Radiant jungle. Do not just throw gold onto a hero who is full inventory. Black.
Oh, Naga taking some damage from Morphling, who's going to go directly into a tornado, but pops the BKB. Oh, there's a song, so they can actually focus on Rabbit if they really want to. Oh my God, June getting shotgun down, not quite dead. Gonna use a Stampede to do absolutely nothing. I don't know what that was. Either way, Demons is gonna be the first to get blown up, along with the Sangus. There's a 1-for-1 exchange right now.
Oh, nice halberd on Rabbit.
Yeah, very nice halberd. Not able to attack, along with the Cold Snap and the Ice Wall. Rabbit is just getting locked down. Hoof Stomp, double edge, using the Lincoln Sphere, but of course, the Morph is up in strength. Actually, he waveforms.
Wow, he turns back for this.
Yeah, well, the Tornado's gonna hit a couple. Rabbit continuing to chase.
Naga found Mirana. I've seen this.
Was that an illusion?
No, it was the hero.
Okay.
Morphling did survive. He had a replicated jump too, right? Or did he just run back?
It's a 2-for-1 right now. Rabbit very low in the base. Surprised no Sunstrike was actually attempted. Maybe it was.
It's kind of
sure if they
underwhelming.
have enough to get
it's
this.
level 3 right now.
Well, but he was at like 2 HP, so.
Spam pings the racks. Shadow Shaman is like, I don't want to die in vain. Please get something.
Honestly, one racks
melee
at this point of the game
barracks
isn't that big of a deal, so
It's
I
still
feel like you might want to give this up.
It's a pretty big deal getting melee barracks, because this is one of those slow siege games, and the melee barracks are, of course, the easily hardest ones to bring down, and Black gets it.
He
Has
gets
song
it!
available, or we'll just be backing out. 600 CS on Black, 500 on the Morphling, and the next on the board is less than 200, so
Beautiful.
a very, very top-heavy game this has been so far. And overall, if CIS just keep this style of play up, I think
Then
they're
I will
gonna be
vomit all over the place.
fine. Okay. That was not the conclusion I was looking for, but
Sorry, I thought we
So-
could finish each other's sentences. I thought we were that close. But I guess not. Agrim's looking actually getting a little bit closer to Roshan.
DD.
We're having a stampede.
good.
Hoofstomp's going to miss DD using
Wait,
his Sandstorm.
oh, okay.
He finally pops his BKB. Overgrowth.
Nope.
Not going to be used for the level 9. Oh, he's level 11 now. My mistake.
Yeah. I think you might want to hold on to that overgrowth. That's a really valuable ability right now.
The cooldown's so low. Yeah.
It's a 70-second cooldown. I think Sanking would have actually got away there, so I agree with not using it. He would have burrow struck and then waited a little bit and just blinked. I don't think anyone could have caught up there, so it's okay. And actually, I might be underplaying the importance of overgrowth a little bit, because anything that goes through the BKBs of LGD is important.
Yep.
Like, he can hold Doom in place and he's in BKB. Same for Sand King, same for Morphling. Especially the Morphling, who does not have a Manta style. He's actually buying salves to be faster in the fountain.
What is
right
up with these net worths?
Regenning here.
They just flip-flop like huge. I don't know what that was, but I'm assuming it's a close game based on how this game has gone. I'll just use my intuition on this. 4-staff. I'm not sure how long it's actually been completed on Marana, but finally finishes it. Like, what does Morphling and Naga build? Do they do anything? Morphling could build boosted travel. I'm guessing Lincoln Sphere could just get rid of that, or even upgrade the BKB at some point, but not quite at that point, I don't think. As Roshan takes an arrow to the face, and it looks like this might be a free
Are they
roach.
just giving it away again? No, this time they're not going to fall for it.
Sunstrike's
There's the
going to hit
Sunstrike.
DD. They have the Song of the Siren, of course. And Naga is in range.
They could be sniping it with the song
Oh,
here.
hoof stomp. Double edge is almost going to get a kill right off the bat. There's the Song of the Siren, along with
Nice
the pipe
steal from
initiation.
CIS. Very easy.
Centaur taking the Aegis. This is an absolute disaster for LGD. If CIS can actually capitalize here, Roster Ward's in place, but not in the greatest position. Naga getting a kill. It's a 2-for-1 exchange to start off this fight. Doom trying to right-click Black. He's getting blocked by his own level 11 Treant, for God's sake, woman. Black attempted to run away with the Doom applied to him, but looks like he will fall, but of course,
Buyback.
he does have buyback. Just going to say, Treant in the meantime, doing as much as he can. Rabbit, nice morph strength, good sir. June trying to take
He
him
has
out,
the
but it's
Aegis,
not
though.
going to be enough. Well, Black is back in town. Invoker taken out by the Morphling, who uses Replicate. Ultra kill for Rabbit.
Rabbit is playing really, really well.
Yao trying to tank up the Rasta Wards for God knows what reason. Will use the Illusory Orb and then die to June. Congratulations, good sir. BKB popped up, or purchased by Morphling, so it is a new BKB.
Yep.
Well, I thought it was at like 7, 6. It was like at 6. I guess we can't check now. Doom, pick it up. Let me see. WTF. And look at these. This is ridiculous. These
Yeah.
illusions.
Almost guessed the tier 3 here, so doing some
disgusting.
good damage. And with Black buying back, he doesn't need to save gold for buyback right now. He's actually farming the enemy Radiant, the enemy Ancients, only for the experience right now, and to deny them the farm perhaps, but I think this is the time when you sell your Diffusal and you get the Butterfly. He has used 3 charges on the Diffusal. It's been an excellent value pickup. Now it's time to say goodbye and go for the base push. Yes! There we go! In total, let's see, how many charges? He's had, in total, 13 item charges between Drum and Diffusal. He used 3 of them, which was more than we thought he would. So, the Diffusal actually gave him 1 or 2 kills, so let's be honest.
the Diffusal was fine,
It had
yeah,
its
I have no
use,
problem
and
with
it
that.
did some good damage too. But now he's going to transition into the Butterfly, and this is when it's going to get really, really difficult for LGD. There's no MKB on the Morphling, so he cannot even reliably kill the illusions anymore. Black is going to be taking the tier 3 with this wave, and he's just going to be continuing the push.
Keep in mind, LGD, if I'm not mistaken, is undefeated, right? Either
Yes.
Is it 6-0?
6-0.
Okay, 6-0. So this will be their first
And their
loss
hardest game was
against themselves, basically.
against the Naga from the
That's true,
LGD
yeah.
CDC. It seems like this is the approach you take if you want to beat LGD right now. Naga Siren is the bane for them. There we go, denied by Doom.
What do you think about Replicate? I haven't seen him use it on... oh, of course, Naga does have the Lincoln Sphere, so I guess it's kind of difficult.
He was doomed in that last fight. That was huge. That was the only reason Black died, was that he did get doomed for once.
Yeah.
And with the refresher coming up for Lin, maybe it's going to be easier for him to get these reliable Dooms off. Of course, when he has the Shiva's Guard, he has the enough mana for double Doom.
Double Doom?
The only question is, will CIS even allow him to fight? Because this is what Naga can do. She can avoid fighting. If you get caught out, you have Song of the Siren. If you don't get caught out, this slow and steady push will eventually...
Well, actually, they're just going to completely ignore him, at least
Morphling
for now.
doesn't have a replicate up there. Man, if CIS would have gone in for that, that could have worked out. Naga Siren had Boots of Travel.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Now they're just going to farm. So Lin has the perseverance, as you talked about. Needs to finish up. What's so funny? I don't understand.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Just gonna farm. I like that.
Sheepstick now on the Invoker. And we talked about that early game. Actually, pretty much simultaneously picked up by Puck on the opposing team. So overall, Puck hasn't had a huge staple in this game. A lot of it has to do with the start that he got against Invoker, which just dominated him. Doom does finish the refresher.
Who do you Doom?
Not Naga, unless you definitely have no Lincolns.
You just drew the card.
It's the only one that matters, honestly. Maybe Invoker, I guess. I feel like Centaur doesn't matter. Treant doesn't matter. Shadow Shaman is so squishy, he doesn't matter. It's got to be Naga Invoker.
Until he has a BKB on the Shadow Shaman, I think. Speaking of him, he's 300 gold away from the Ags, and who knows, maybe that's going to be an important factor for CIS closing out this game. They could be able to do that with the stronger Shadow Shaman wards. Of course, that is a pretty decent upgrade, but just look at this. They're forcing LGD up in the top lane. Immediately Black's like, ooh, Patfin, sneak in my illusions and start hitting the range racks here. And now they're going to defend. That's a beautiful arrow, thank you very much. And now they have to go there, all of them, because there's no one hero that can stop. Look at it! He's going to get the range tracks with all the heroes inside the base. The one gets shotgun down, the one with living armor, and still this range barracks, 37 health.
Of course, it doesn't regen, so it's only a matter of time. Ross the Ward's now in the tier 3 top. At least they're able to take out with the support.
This
Murata.
is just a good play from CIS. They're outplaying LGD completely here. They're avoiding the fight. They're split pushing nicely. They almost got the tier 3. There goes the range racks. The tier 3 got denied.
Man, that illusion.
The best play from CIS here is to not get a kill at all. Just not even have a fight break out. Just get the racks for free. And they're doing a great job
what does
so far.
LGD do here against the Song of the Siren? Like if it was any other hero, you'd say, okay, you need to just initiate somewhere outside your base. Try to catch them off guard. But against the Naga, the BKB is obviously help, but it's not every single hero on the team that has a BKB. Like, what do you do if you're LGD?
You need to find the right Naga, and then I think your Doom just needs to go full Rambo. Blink, level death, immediate Doom. BKB yourself, try to fight. Else, if they don't find a fight, they will eventually lose this game. They're going to try to brute force top. That's going to cost them the bottom racks. There's already Forge Spirits, Invoker, and double Siege Creep here. Morphling will be running down. He's going to get tornadoed. And the BKB, Inflame can just use his BKB if he wants. He's just going to hex him. Just control.
Wow.
Right here, even deafening, blasting him.
And Morphling
got it for free.
Gonna waveform away in top lane. We might actually have a fight. Stampede, Overgrowth, DD taking quite a bit of damage, but there's the Leech Seed. BKB's popped. Centaur as well. They're just gonna lock him down, right click away. Goodbye Sand King. So
tier 4 falls as well. Just one step at a time from CIS.
Very methodical. I think that's this game in a nutshell.
Oh, the thing about this is CIS are just flat out playing well. This is the way their lineup works, and this is how they should be playing against LGD. You cannot fault the players. You could think this is boring. I think this is a well-executed game plan by CIS. Maybe it's not the most spectator-friendly one, but you play to win. You don't play to entertain the viewers right now. And this is a huge game for CIS, because if they can beat the favorites right now of the group stage, they could put themselves maybe in a position where they get a shot of at second place. It is still a possibility for CIS with this win to get that. Or at least
looks like LGD wants to take to the fight here. BKB now on Doom, but the Song of the Siren is going to prevent a lot of damage here. And they're just going to wait for the Doom to...
The last barracks.
To get the range racks almost the melee with absolutely no initiation from their part. Just ridiculous, these illusions. One more time and they're good to go. They just wait for the Song of the Siren. Of course, now that Doom, I believe he refreshed his Doom, so it's still only going to be one more. I'm surprised that the pipe was actually popped there, but either way. This is not looking good for LGD, but of course they're still #1 in the qualifiers. Well, as far as the losses are concerned, they'll be tied with DT, I believe, unless...
Yep.
Not sure what the game's being played
and
right
that
now,
means, like you said before we went into that, it is completely possible that the LGD DT game will carry a lot of weight. It could be important. Because if LGD start losing games, they might have to win that to secure top 2 even.
Right.
This game actually opens up a lot of possibilities.
Makes it
as
more
far as the
interesting,
standings
that's
are
for sure.
So, yep.
The
last
siege
barracks,
continues.
I do not see how LGD can possibly stop this push. Black will use his Manta and his mirror images now. If they try to kill them off, they can... Yeah, they can just do it again. Is there a glyph available for LGD? No, there's not. They used that beforehand. They need to wait 4 minutes on that. They will not be able to. And this is the problem. They don't have enough to clean them out. They'll
Song of the
do their
Siren
very best.
on Morphling, Sand King, and Puck.
Yep.
That's going to leave the illusions open to completely Raxum. That is Super Creeps, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like LGD has one last stand in them. Very persistent, these guys are. They're going to get the Rasta kill. Cyclone applied to the Puck, but he actually does blink out. But Deafening Blast, among other things. Sheep Stick to follow. And he is a dead Puck, to say the least. Centaur, in the meantime, using Stampede. Rabbit pops his BKB. GG's!
Okay.
Come out.
I want to point something out about this game. I think this is a record. Morphling with 17-0 lost.
That's true. That is weird.
This is just the draft playing out. LGD not putting enough pressure early on to shut down the Naga. They let Naga completely free farm. Naga goes late game. Naga has powerful illusions. The AoE damage starts not being significant enough. Buildings fall. Roshan falls. Game ends. And it's a 30 kill, or actually 40 kills, to be honest, in a 60-minute game. So, it could have been way less kills, to be honest. When you look
there
at
were almost no
setup,
team fights.
There were
That's
almost
probably
no
what
team
made it harder to watch.
and that just means CIS
of
played the
pickoffs.
best, because that's what they want to avoid. They're playing a split push strategy where they don't want to fight. LGD want to fight. They didn't get the chance. That just means CIS are doing their job of controlling the map.
Don't look at me. I'm not complaining.
I'm looking at Fear.
Me?
Tell us how this game was amazing.
Tell us how this game was amazing. I can tell you why it wasn't amazing. I don't know the other way around. But for me, it's like I don't really understand so much. Like support Mirana for me is still like it's a big question mark. Like I'm not a big fan of support Mirana. This game particularly, like she had the worst start possible. She had like what was it, the 45, 50-minute force staff?
Yeah, looked like 25-minute shreds, something like that.
And she didn't
I think
really
as a
accomplish
spectator,
anything.
I like it if it goes well.
Yeah.
But it's not like one of those guaranteed things. It's not like you put her in mid or you put her in the farm lane, you're going to guarantee like some sort of a late game with her. But this is just, if you don't get off to a good start, you're just screwed.
Yeah, and also in this game in particular, I think mid was a big deal too. Like Puck's impact in this game was very minimal. Where in Flames, I think that was his name, the Invoker player.
Yep.
He created so much space for this Naga. Everyone's talking about Naga, you know, she's doing what she does, but I think Invoker created so much space and opened up the map completely for this Naga to do what she does.
Yeah. And Black played it well, maybe a little passive for the palate of some of the viewers, but at the end of the day, he didn't feed, and he picked up a lot of illusion kills. It was rather impressive to see him farm the map like that. Classic Black.
It's just a classic Naga game as well.
Yeah.
I think this is not a game where it's like the player shines. It's more the strategy that shines. What he did on the Naga is something a lot of Naga carry players in top teams would have done the same thing, would have got the same amount of farm. He did what he had to do. Arguably, maybe some other Naga carries would actually have had more farm because they started with the Radiance instead of that drum, which we think was questionable and didn't really do anything, but still got the job done. I completely agree with Fear. I think in the early game especially, we saw Invoker making a lot of big plays, avoiding for them to lose these team fights. Treant had a couple of clutch living armors, but that was kind of Treant's role in the game. Didn't really see too much out of him apart from that. Shadow Shaman, a couple of good hexes, did some decent work with the Mass Serpent Wards, but overall, I think Invoker easily the... Is it unfair to call him MVP in this game over the Naga? Of course, the Naga is the one winning the game, but as far as like the composition was made, this is what he needed to do.
Fear's right. So much space was created by the Invoker.
Stampedes were really clutch too, as well.
Yeah, and
that was
well, honestly, other than the Stampede, there was a couple hoof stomps, but other than that, not a whole lot from Centaur either.
Yeah, having the living armor and the Stampede, there were a couple really nice disengages that the Naga was able to secure even without using Song of the Siren, so having that global presence just aided the kind of passive, elusive farming of the Naga. And
did they pick Naga early, right? Was it first two?
I left my notes over
at
the
least second phase.
It wasn't last pick.
I was a little surprised on like the heroes they had to deal with Naga as well. Like the Doombringer doesn't really do anything. Support Mirana obviously doesn't do anything either. Puck's not very good. Morphling's not even the greatest either. He doesn't have an AoE mechanism to deal with illusions.
In hindsight, do you run Doom in the jungle from level 1, play offlane Mirana, and just get a fast Midas and Doom, go into Shadowblade and start hunting the Naga? Do you think that would have been a better strategy? Because they just they left Black alone. He didn't get touched the whole game.
Yeah, they didn't get much from the Doom on the offlane in general, and Mirana obviously didn't have anything the whole game anyways. Probably would have got more in that offlane, so yeah, that would have worked out better for them. But still, I think it's a really weak offlane choice to put just Doom down there. I don't
especially on Dire.
Yeah, on Dire.
Yeah.
Only Dire, really.
And as you pointed out in the cast, the boots first kind of crippled his ability to do well in the jungle in the first few levels, so that slowed him down even further. Conrad, do we have updated standings we can take a look at here? Because no, I got one of these, so I'm not sure.
Why did you expect Conrad knows what he's doing?
Snakes.
You
Well,
should have learned by now.
that is the first loss for LGD, though, and like you guys mentioned at the end of the cast, that actually makes things interesting. LGD are not secured first place anymore. We could see a shuffle amongst the top 4. Coming up next on this very stream, it will be LGD versus HGT, and if HGT can snake out a win here, then things get really interesting.
Yep.
It should be a good game.
And I don't think anyone expected CIS to take a game here as well, so it was really well played by them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's a complete negative on the standings. Okay, so we'll have standings when we come back, but we'll have a break here, guys. And LGT versus the Hyperglory team will be coming up next year. It will be Synderen and Suns fan casting once again. A Suns fan, plural Suns, multiple Suns.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can we get more like transition shots of just fear with no
Yeah.
mic, please? I really
I like that a lot.
That was interesting. I was just playing with my phone. Super important.
Oh, man. So we'll have a quick break here, guys. Stay with us because LGD versus HGT is coming up next here over on BTS1. Thanks for watching the NA Hub presented by Monster. We'll be back.